G'day, I'm Melissa Shannon, founder of digitalscrapbookinghq.com, and today I'm here with another Photoshop Elements tutorial.
Today I'm here in Photoshop Elements 2020 to show you how you can get your digital scrapbook page ready for printing. When it comes time to print our layouts, the first thing I like to do is print it at home so that I can proofread it in print because it's easier to pick up errors on a paper copy. So you just want to click File, Print, and then select the printer that you want. Make sure that you don't have crop to fit turned on so that you get the entire page. Because I'm in Australia, I'll be using A4 paper, and that will end up with a print that's around 8 by 8 inches. If you're using a 8.5 by 11 paper, your final print will mean the layout's about 8.5 inches square. The other thing you'll want to do at this point is to make sure that your text is readable. I find that 14 points works pretty well. The next step is to create a high quality JPEG image that you can then upload to your photobook provider or your photo printer if you want to do individual layout prints. So in this case, I know I want my layout to be printed by 8 inches because that's the size I create all my layouts in. Usually I'd use an action from Wendy design, and I'll have a link to her in the information below this video. But here's how you can do it by hand. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to Image, Resize, Image Size, and we're going to change it to be 8 by 8 inches. So this method has worked well for Shutterfly, Forever, Snapfish, and Adorama Pix, which is now known as Printique. So we're going to keep the resolution at 300, and I will scale the styles so that our shadows won't become too big. Click OK. Now all of our image has been resized a third smaller. So now to deal with the font size. If you look at that print that you did at home before we resize the image, you'll see that the text is smaller than 14 points. In fact, it's about 9 points. So at this point, at this stage, you can change the point size of your text. I might bump it up to 12, or you can leave it as is. It really depends on your eyesight and how bold the font is. So when I printed it out, I noticed that that font was really a bit small. So I'm just going to click the check mark when I've changed that. Now the only other thing we'll need to do is make sure that we save this file as 8 by 8 so that we don't overwrite our original. And we want to check that all of our elements are not too close to the edge. So I notice here that this is within the I guess 2/8 of an inch. Let me see. Yeah. So it's quite close to the edge. I might go ahead and just move all those paper layers and the lace there down so that I'll definitely get that effect. Now also at this stage, I notice that my photo is quite close to the edge. And I have to think, if this was bound on the left, probably by the time you open the book, you're only just going to see the edge of the photo. In this case, it's not super important to me. I might just go ahead and move this little embellishment to one side. But that's just something to think about. If you've got things within a little ½ inch of the edge, they may be cropped. So that's all we need to do for this page. And then to save a high quality JPEG image, we're going to go to File, Save As, JPEG, and click Save. And then when this JPEG options comes up, we just want to make sure that we're saving it at maximum quality. And then now you have an 8 by 8 image that's ready to print. And now if all of that sounds a bit too much, you'll want to check out Wendy Design's actions. Wendy has got a great set of actions in her Scraps store. She's got actions that will work for Shutterfly standard sizes as well as generic photo books and blurb. So I have used her Shutterfly 8x8 actions for many years. I love them and they've worked really well for me at several photo book printers, including Printique, Shutterfly, and Snapfish. So let's go back to that original and I'll show you how to run the action. You click on View Actions and then click Load Actions. And then you can load the Shutterfly 8x8 action. And let's run it. You've got some instructions. We'll click Continue. And then we'll go to our background layer. Make sure it's a normal layer. And then we'll click Play. Then we're going to select the very top action layer. Click Play. Then we're going to select all the items that we want to fill the canvas. So for me, that's just our blue pattern paper. And then it prompts us to look at our layout. It looks great. Continue. It just is reminding us that things might be cut off if it's outside this grey area. Now we have a chance to save our layered file if you want to. I mean, you totally don't have to, but I like to be cautious. And then we can click play and it'll generate the JPEG for us. And that's all done. If you have earlier versions of Photoshop Elements, earlier than about 2018, you can use her specific Photoshop Elements actions, but I find that her Photoshop CS actions work really well in recent versions of Photoshop Elements. Now let's go and look at how everything turned out. Here are our images. This is the one that I created. Here's the one that Wendy's action created. They're very similar. The only thing I did differently in my manual one was I made the text a little bigger. So I love Wendy's actions, and if you want a helping hand and need a bit more guidance, or you have a large batch of pages to get ready for printing, I highly recommend them. But it's definitely something you can do on your own. In both cases, make sure you print your layouts at home so that you can check you don't have any typos. I can't tell you the number of typos I find in my photo books if I don't print them. And even when I have printed them at home, there's occasionally a typo. So I often will get out a permanent fine tip pen and just fix those corrections. Or I wait till a photo book comes on sale and I order a corrected copy. It happens to the best of us, but it's worth spending the extra few minutes to print at home and proofread. And maybe get someone else in your family or someone who's interested, like a grandparent, to look over those pages before you print them. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you will take the time to print some of your layouts. I cannot emphasize how exciting it is to get a photo book or photo prints of your layouts. That is just the best feeling to see your work in print.
Thanks so much for joining me today. If you'd like to learn more about digital scrapbooking or Photoshop Elements, head to digitalscrapbookinghq.com.